Sometimes, chat. Sometimes you just don't want the cheeks. You want the dome instead.
No, I'm high like high, but no, I lay low. Key the key, got the flow, bro, know it. Key got poet, watch a man show it. I don't tiptoe it, don't loud, I come. Kick back with a louder bun. Chat shit for my bro, rude boy, get done. Then I give him another rubber, but I'm gonna be your bum. I'm a level, then I make no trouble. I sing like that, I'm hot like kettle. Tell them at the top spot, now I won't settle, don't be Metallica. I do heavy metal. Catch a man home alone on the calister. I'm a pro in the stage of a...
Did I just respawn again? Why did Kelsa stop messing with agents that play with backfire? Because she got tired of them blowing their load in a couple of seconds to get the job done. Ha ha, dag joke of the day. What is going on, Dags? If you're new to the channel, welcome to Daddy Gang Gaming. I'm your host, Nox, where my favorite thing to do is respawn, and it's not because I'm good. If you liked and seen the Bighorn build I made for Legendary, you might like this one as well. For this loadout, it's going to be for playing heroic and below content, either solo or in a group. And what I really like about this build is that the damage is going to be more consistent than if you're running around with a backfire build. And you're not going to be forced to play a bunch of different gimmicky mechanics to try to do the maximum amount of damage with this build.
Dags, we are not all created equally. Clapping cheeks is just a side effect of stroking this big boy.
And playing with this Bighorn build is going to be pretty straightforward and a lot easier than playing with backfire. You're not going to have to worry about doing ABC to get the damage output consistently. And overall, playing with the Bighorn is just awesome because the gun looks cool and it hits like a truck. But that being said, I'm just messing around. I'm not actually hating on backfire builds. The backfire does hit like a truck, but it only works really well if you're playing on smaller maps like the District Union Arena, or if you're playing content where there's a constant stream of enemies, because running around the map to take out a handful of enemies and having to build up your stacks to do damage is, I don't know, man, it's not my cup of tea. I'd rather do a lot of damage up front. And that's where the Bighorn shines, because you do get upfront damage and you can stack up to do even more damage. And thanks to the way that this loadout works, it's just going to be your generic striker build with a lot of damage. It ain't anything fancy. If it works, it works, right? I won't lie, there's nothing game breaking or game changing about this loadout. It just does a lot of damage. And if you want to do a lot of damage, this is going to be the build for you. Jeez Louise. Okay, I'll take it. Dang. And because I have this build set up for playing on heroic or challenging content, I'm actually going to mix up my headshot damage with some critical hit chance and critical hit damage. That way I'm not forced to only aim for the head, and if I'm a little bit farther back from the enemies, it's going to be okay if I shoot them in the body. I'm going to have a respectable amount of critical hit chance and critical hit damage as well. And just like the Bighorn build that I made for Legendary content, you're going to want to play up close and personal. And because the closer you are to the enemy, the easier it's going to be to beam them in the head.
You want the dome instead.
So just keep that in mind. If you're going to play this build, you're definitely going to have to be comfortable playing up close and personal. And a good thing about this build is that you can literally play it for any type of map, any layout. You can play missions, you can play open world content like control points, you could run public executions, you can run bounties, it doesn't matter. This build is going to do fine everywhere at any range. But like I said, the closer you are, the more damage you're going to do to the enemies, because it's going to be easier to land those headshots. So without further delay, let's get right into it. All right, let's go over the build real quick. Starting off, I got the gunner specialization. We got the Bighorn. And what's really good about the Bighorn, it's the talent Big Aim Hunter. You can scope in to do an additional 450% weapon damage, and it's going to be kind of shooting like a marksman rifle. Headshots grant 6% headshot damage, stacking up to 25 times. So that's 150% headshot damage. We got an ACS 12. With the talent Brazen, this is what I'm going to use to build up my striker stacks really fast. Sidearm can be whatever you want. I have the Memento backpack. It comes with all 3 cores. It has the talent kill confirmed, which gives you a long-term and short-term buff. This thing is going to give us a bunch of weapon damage, bonus armor, and skill efficiency. For the chest piece, you can put whatever brand set you want. I have a Ceska for the 8% critical hit chance, double crit, and I have the talent Intimidate. On a side note, I like running the Intimidate this season because you got 2 different sources to give yourself bonus armor. One way is that you gain bonus armor for every 300,000 damage you take, and the second way is from picking up those kill confirm tokens. And the way that the damage stacks with this is that each of those 4% is going to be multiplicative of each. So it's not going to increase your weapon damage by 36%. It's going to increase it by 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, 9 times. And you could also run Obliterate if you preferred that. I just kind of like Intimidate because it gives you more upfront damage quicker. And I like the upfront damage because you already have 2 stacking mechanisms on this loadout with the Bighorn and the way that the Striker's Gamble stacks up. So just having upfront damage is going to be very helpful. And finishing off, I got 4 pieces of strikers, 2 pieces give you weapon handling, 3 pieces give you rate of fire, then 4 pieces give you strikers gamble. I got critical hit damage, I got critical hit chance on the gloves, critical hit chance on the knee pads, and critical hit chance on the holster. And when it comes to the attributes, it doesn't really matter how you want to play it. You could play it critical hit chance, critical hit damage. You could go all headshot damage. I like to mix it up with a little bit of critical hit chance and damage. That way I'm not relying only on headshots. Just keep in mind that your critical hit damage and headshot damage stack. If you have 100% critical hit damage and 100% headshot damage, that's going to be a bonus 200% damage, not 100 times 100. So just keep that in mind. For the first skill, I got the Crusader Shield. For the second skill, I got the Booster Hive because I like the weapon handling that it gives. Having all the extra weapon handling from the Booster Hive is going to give me more consistency with hitting those headshots. For the modifiers, I'm not going to be using the active modifier, so you can put whatever you want. For the passive modifiers, I have Multitasker for that weapon damage, bonus armor, and that skill tier. I got the best kind of defense for more headshot damage. I got loaded up for more critical hit damage. Stat wise, I'm sitting at 58% critical hit chance, 107 critical hit damage, and the headshot damage is bugged. I'm definitely sitting at more than 27.5% headshot damage. That's weird. For defense wise, I'm sitting at almost 1.4 million armor. I got 140,000 armor on kill. And for the attributes, I'm sitting at 5 reds, 2 blues, and 1 yellow. Thanks to the multitasker passive modifier giving me the skill tier, my shield is actually sitting at skill tier 4, which is pretty nice. There's going to be more than enough for those oh crap moments when I got to pull up my shield. And also my Booster Hive is at skill tier 2, which is really nice. You can definitely put on more blues if you want to play with more blues. I'm just comfortable playing with mostly reds. And if you're playing in a group, you can actually change out this blue to a red as well. That way you deal more damage.
If it don't clap when you're running, then I don't want you on my team.
Say hello to my little friend. Alrighty, Dags, that's my run and gun Bighorn build for the season. It's actually pretty decent. I really like it. Let me know if you would prefer to play a Bighorn build like this, or if you prefer to play in a Backfire build this season. That is all for now, Dags, so get out there, happy farming, and don't forget that ×5 XP event's around the corner.